Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your host, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Yo, today we are talking about legendary things, Chicago's Green City Market.
Yeah. Historical.
Historical. Yeah, very historical. But first, how y'all doing?
Amazing.
That's good. I'm
so happy.
Dead tired.
Actually, the bangs look great. Don't even let people tell you they don't look good. Anyone that tells you you can't do the bangs, they're wrong.
Yeah, well, you used to be, didn't you not like the bangs?
My own?
Not yours.
Oh.
You used to be like, right? Am I tripping?
I feel like it depends what kind of bangs.
Then you said, look, I put on. I put that on. Shit.
I like bangs. I feel like some people, they're just like tedious to style. You know what I mean? Like you have to always style them.
Yeah.
You can't just like, especially because I have curly hair. I have to always do something with them.
Moving my mic around, trying to get it situated.
Yeah. I feel like I always have to do something with them. So like, I can't just, it's not as easy as like when I would just blow out my hair and get out of bed.
Yeah, well, you should just, no, I was about to say, get a buzz cut like me. Your boy, but my shit grow back like fucking chia pet.
Yeah.
God damn.
Do you know that chia, okay, this might make me sound a little dumb, but I did not know that chia pets were basically like you spray water, you adhere the chia seeds, and then they just grow into chia.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not. This is something we didn't have when I was growing up.
Right.
I just saw it in ads on like.
I was gonna say you also would have had to see the commercials too.
Yeah, which I did not see.
They
so like we had like Disney Channel when I was growing up, so I would see it on like Cartoon Network or Disney. Like I must have seen it somewhere because I knew it existed, but I never knew that it was just as simple as like I could make the shit at home. Why were they selling it? Just buy a bag of chia and put that shit on anything you want.
To be honest with you, I was I want to say in my 20s when I realized chia was an actual seed. I thought it was just some magical shit they did.
Oh, the little sea monkeys that they sell.
Yeah, I knew it was real. I knew it was real plant or some shit like that. But like I thought they just figured out a way to get other plants and paste it on. Now I didn't know chia was a seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. That is ridiculous. They don't teach these things at school.
That's why kids buy these things and parents are like, man, just shut up. Here, have it.
Yeah, right.
Also, happy actual my summer now.
You said
that your kids are back in
hold
school.
on, let me do that for you because I know you want that.
I know. Yeah.
We get you one of these too.
I will say, traffic is about to be worse.
Why?
Because people are like taking their kids to school and picking their kids up from school. And
it might be worse in pockets, but for the most part, I think
in like the neighborhoods it's probably worse. But listen, I can't wait to go to the beach this week. Yeah, I'm gonna be there every day. Come find me. No, actually, don't come find me.
Yeah, right, for real.
But you won't know what beach I'm at. But I went to the beach one time this summer, and so many children.
You was like, man, no, hell
they
no.
They threw sand at me. They hit me with their water guns, and I didn't say anything because, like, I get it. You're 7, but like the parents didn't say anything.
Right. That's what the problem is.
Parents weren't even anywhere near them. And I was like, and then what's funny? So not funny. This last summer, I was at the beach with my sister, and this girl, she must have been like 8 or 9, maybe even younger, 7. I can't tell what age kids are. But she like started talking to us, which red flag. Your kid should not be talking to strangers, I feel like. And then she like kept following us around, and she said, "My mom said I can hang out with people as long as they're adults." I was like, "Your mom said that?
Your mom didn't say that.
Your mom did not say that.
Not that. She didn't say that.
No, she didn't say that.
You misunderstood.
No,
go back. Yeah. Go back and ask her.
You're just saying that. She actually told you the opposite.
Yeah, for real.
She probably said you could talk to people as long as they're your age, and you said, "You know what? The other one sounds more fun."
Yeah, right. You said, "I'm definitely not doing that."
Yeah, and like obviously we were nice to her, but like I was like, what if we were creeps? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that would have been. And I couldn't see the mom anywhere. Like I didn't know.
That's the part that's wild, man. Like, I'm not about to perpetuate the stereotype here in Chicago, but y'all want to talk all crazy, and then your kid be working. It can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
What did you doing? Let your kid walk around like that?
Scary.
Yeah, that's scary.
Especially at like a crowded beach, like it's super scary. I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Y'all.
The scary part is the kids at the beach. Yeah, a lot of kids. It's scary.
Y'all, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being in front of the computer. If I'm being real.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
your boy been moving this past like month.
Yeah,
and a half.
Other than like the podcast, Dario also is a photographer, videographer, and
like a full time.
Yeah, and he has had an actual full schedule. The last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it ain't no end in sight either. If I'm being real.
And it's not just like going to the event and like shooting it. It's like the hours of editing that you have to do afterwards.
Yeah, this one is catching up to me. Yeah. You hear it in my voice. Mm-hmm. Like it's catching up. But we having fun. Speaking of fun, shout out to Pepsi. We were with part of the Dig In Day.
Yeah, it happened last weekend.
Yeah, that shit was, man, that was, look, fun. I ain't never felt cooler than when y'all, here's this. So let me set the scene for you. A lot of dope shit right there, right? So we was doing interviews. We were kind of like walking around. Y'all gonna see the footage. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be out on Pepsi Dig In, the site and everything like that, right? It's dope right there in Washington Park in Hyde Park, right? So one part of the day, we were in the green room because we was outside. It's baking hot. Like the first day of the excessive heat.
It was like 90.
I'm like, bro, this heat is ridiculous. So we sit in the green room and now it's time to go back to action, right? And I'm like, we going to the Don C section, right? And I realized I didn't have my phone. So y'all, I started panicking. I was like, it's got to be in the green room. And in the green room, all the talent in there. Now, I don't think none of them gonna steal or nothing like that. But like, goddamn it, when you lose your phone,
right?
Your little heart.
Because sometimes people are like, they pick it up and they give it to someone like, oh hey, I found this phone. Yeah. And now you gotta find.
Now you gotta find the person that found the phone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm panicking, y'all. Right before we about to talk shoot to or shoot some content with Don C. Now we wasn't even supposed to shoot content with Don C. Keep that part open. So I come back, find my phone. I come back. I'm walking back, y'all. And you know that little moment when you found your phone, but your heart still got to come down and your mind got to get right. You still like, God damn, almost, boy. You know what I mean? Like I was in that stage. And so as I'm like walking by, this little short dude came up. He was like looking at me from a distance. And when I like came to, I was like, yo, that's Don C. And Don C looking at me and said, man, I'm a big fan of your podcast, man. I mean, of your page. I love what you do for the city. I'm Don C. I've been following y'all.
Like, sir, why would you introduce yourself?
Bro, I know who you are, and I'm trying not to act like this. Don C's role is to be the guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm the star. You know what I mean? Don C up here talking to me. Now I'm trying to. We role reverse. I'm up here trying to act like.
So the producer, I'm standing next to the producer, and he's looking at me and he's like, does Dario know Don C? And I was like, not as far as I know. Like, I did not think they had a relationship. And Dario comes up and like tells me the story, and they're like, oh, you guys should do the interview.
Man, look.
I was like,
I'm like, yo, less. and then, so check this out, y'all. So check this out. We do the interview. Don C is literally the coolest dude. He literally
so cool.
Kind of fanning out over the fact that he with us, and
we're freaking out because he's standing in front of us.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like
it was just like such a vibe.
It's a vibe. So by the end of it, dude gave me the phone number talking about, hey, look, holla. What? All right, bet.
That's why you should never lose your phone.
Never, right. And I almost lost my phone moments before that. Then we continue, right? This don't even seem real. This is one of those true Hollywood stories, man. We continue. We doing like little interviews with people, right? And the guests that's coming, getting them hyped up for the event, right? And then all of a sudden, one of the crew was like, yo, that dude got a J. Ivy jersey.
No, I said that. I was like, is that J. Ivy or is that someone wearing a J. Ivy jersey?
So one of the dudes was like, nah, that can't be J. Ivy. And so I look, I'm like, nah, that's J. Ivy, man. Like,
so I pranced my little ass over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, how's it going? Do you remember we met you at this blah, blah, blah. We met him at a dinner. And he was like, oh my God, hi. And his wife was there. And we just like sat there and talked for like 30 minutes. He introduced us to some people.
Right, we met more people.
And then we had to run because Dario had to interview Pusha T.
Yeah, y'all, this shit get crazier. So then we had to say bye to J. Ivy.
Sorry, we have to leave.
Because I have to go interview the clips. Like, what? Like,
it was wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
I feel like your inner '90s child was like '80s kid.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Just
this shit
losing it.
This shit went OC, right? Like this shit none of it makes sense, right? But it made perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? Because like we put in a lot of work here, man. Like, and it's cool that we actually get recognized from people that we look up to, look up to us, you know, for what we do for the city. So, man, that was our weekend, man. And Pepsi was happy with us because we was out doing. Shout out to Michelle.
I was happy with Pepsi
for real. Shout out to Michelle. She was also the other influencer we met. Yeah. So glad that we met her. She was dope. It was the three of us all day.
A little team.
Yeah, we was alternating between interviews. So, man, she was cool, man. I'm sure we're gonna see her on the scene more. She's like. I'm not gonna give out her social media because but man, look, learning about her, she do a lot. Like I almost would be like, she got a full-time job still, and it's like a 4-4 job. You know what I mean? Like, so shout out to her for doing what she do and still having that kind of influence out here. So, but we gonna talk about Green City Market today.
Before we get into Green City Market, I did have some like background history on markets in general, or specifically farmers markets. So. They say they date back about 5,000 years. People were like on the Nile doing farmer market-y things, right?
Right.
And of course, like,
I'm just fucking up this episode.
Yeah, for real. No, I'm just playing. Trade was happening. Obviously from the beginning of time, but that was there were like documented markets, and then. Here in the U.S., the first market that happened, the first documented market, was in 1643, and it was in Boston. And it was basically the Europeans had a long tradition of so
right after slavery.
No,
started.
Damn.
I don't want to bring the mood down, but that's what happened around then.
I feel like up until 1920. Actually, no. Well,
no, just different type.
Different kind of. Yeah. But what I was gonna say, I watched a video the other day, and it was like a British person that was like, "I hate when Americans say Europeans." I'm like,
what the hell, y'all?
But like, all of your entire continent is the size of the United States, so relax. Right. Minus Russia.
And y'all in Europe.
No, but like it's like you're grouping a huge group of people with different cultures and stuff like that. But it was prevalent throughout most of Western and Eastern Europe. There were farmers markets, so I'm just saying Europeans. Well, I mean, who came here? The Spaniards,
right? You know
the
what I'm
British,
saying? Right?
Like those, what the fuck.
Stop playing.
Yeah, it's your history, shit.
Right, own that shit.
So yes, when they came, they brought those traditions of markets with them, and so 1643 was the Boston market, and did very well. It was very popular, and so other cities started kind of like adopting that same method and started up these markets. And of course, as cities grew, Chicago didn't exist at that time, so there must have been some kind of like trade. I don't know. It was marshy, so maybe there was no trade, but
we were slinging nuts. not.
Damn.
Like
Jean Baptiste was out here slanging.
Nah, let's don't do that to him, man. Jean Baptiste, that's how he funded Potawatomi. No. All right, man.
No,
chill. Let's go. Let's go, man. We talking about the actual food nuts.
Yes.
well, you still eat them. Anyway, all right, man. Continue. What was you saying?
Horrible. So I'm so glad your kids is back in school.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Unless you're listening to it after school on your way home, then.
Yeah, leave us some fan mail about this.
But anyway, so as cities grew, markets grew, and they just became a regular part of towns and cities and all of that kind of stuff up until about the 1960s, when supermarkets really kind of took off, and farmers markets just became less and less popular because people were just very fascinated with the idea that you can now get like a piece of passion fruit in like Illinois, when you know what I mean, like
that ain't known
here. And it's like a tropical fruit that now is being imported and doesn't actually grow here or whatever. So people were like, I'd rather go to a grocery store where I can get that than go to the farmers market. So farmers markets died down until about the 1990s, when people were kind of interested again in like where their food comes from and are they eating local. There was like a huge health boom of some sort.
Right.
So farmers markets started back up, I would say, like in the 90s. Of course, like this is I'm talking about. I'm not saying like don't at me and be like farmers markets and everywhere, but
we get it.
Yeah.
They get it.
Dumbass.
But not sure, not y'all, not you necessarily, but somebody else listening to this might be.
But yes, so the 1990s is when that came back, and that's kind of where our story begins with Green City Market.
Party like it's 1999. That's when the Green City Market started. We have a whole conversation, and you know what? It started over there by I don't want to get too much because we talked about this in the conversation we're about to have, but it started over by the Chicago Theater in the alley, y'all. Like in the alley. That area, though, also is very historic. So, Chicago didn't have too many Sundays on State this year. However, when you trace back the history to Sundays on State, it kind of harkens some of the old school vibes. There used to be a market down there, farmers market, and then Fulton Market and Randolph also had some very major markets, and that was kind of Chicago's start with markets. So pretty cool that Green City Market started right where it did, first of all, but also on that street and in between those boundaries. So what we're gonna do? We talked to Mandy Moody of Green City Market, and she broke it down for you. We got a lot of information in that one, and excited for you to hear about it. I mean, the barbecue that's coming up, you gonna hear about
Chef
it?
Barbecue.
Yeah, matter of fact. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run. We
got a little surprise for you right before our interview with Mandy, so check that out.
Sit back, relax,
enjoy.
Hey guys, Mandy from Green City Market here, excited to invite all of you to come out and celebrate our 25th anniversary on Thursday, September 5th at the Chef Barbecue. Check us out at chicagochefbarbecue.com and grab your tickets with code 77FLAVORSBBQ to save $20 off your purchase today. Help us lift up the local food system, support sustainable farmers, expand access to locally grown food, and educate our community, all by joining us on Thursday, September 5th. Hope to see you there. I'm Mandy Moody. I'm the executive director of Green City Market, and I've been with the organization now for about 5 years. So it's been a wild ride from COVID to now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been so many changes every year. It's been wild.
I can imagine starting in COVID, and then COVID happens.
Like you started 2019 then.
So I started 2019, and actually I started 5 weeks before the barbecue in 2019.
Oh wow! So
I was like drinking from a fire hose. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on, so much to learn, and then we got through that. And had just like a nice winter.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and we picked up e-commerce. We were doing all kinds of different things. So it's been a wild ride the last couple of years.
I can't even imagine. Yeah. So like you're chilling. Like this is
chill is
never.
Yeah. I'm gonna say chill is loose. Yeah.
Never. Yeah. What's crazy these last couple of years, like the last 2 or so years, has just been the growth that we've been experiencing. So when I started in 2019, we were welcoming around 175,000 customers to the market on an annual basis.
Wow.
Last year, 465,000.
Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah.
No
Almost
wonder there's
400%.
no parking by like 8 a.m.
Wow.
I'm like, we have to be here at 7.
Yeah.
There's no parking. Yeah.
And like this year, numbers are trending even higher. Like we set a goal to hit 500,000 this year. I'm really confident that we're going to hit that. And it's incredible. Like we talk about visitor counts, right?
Yeah.
We have an amazing crew of volunteers who help us count that. People are always asking, how do you count that?
I was going to say, how do you keep track?
We got click counters at different entrances.
Really? I've never noticed.
They're
they're sneaky. Yeah, I was gonna say,
We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
They're counting people, and we count dogs.
Wow.
Okay. Hey.
We do.
That dog count is what I want to see.
Yeah. Like literally, it's funny. Here in Lincoln Park, we'll usually see a couple hundred dogs on a market day, but West Loop, because we're right by Mary Bartolome Park, that has a dog park right next to it. That is a very dog-friendly market.
Wow.
But yeah, when we talk about those visitor counts, it's like always a really exciting number to share.
Yeah.
But what's even more exciting, I think, is how our farmers are reporting the growth of their businesses, right? Because when you visit We love for people to be exposed to the environment.
Yeah.
But then when you take that first purchase, when you buy your first berry, when you buy your first peach, you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm never going back.
Yeah, right.
And they build it into a habit. So it's crazy to see.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So you've been with the market for 5 years, but this year you're celebrating 25 years.
That's
25.
right. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild.
So we started back in '99. Abby Mandel was our founder. She's since passed away in 2008. But in those first several years, she just was so formative, and I've heard so much. I never had the pleasure of meeting her, but I hear stories that her legacy really, really lives on today. She was just a force. She was like, came back from Europe, had experienced all these local food markets, and was like, we need this here in our city. And so she just pushed and made it happen. She connected with the culinary community, Rick Bayless, Sarah Stegner, many others, to say, all right, we need you to kind of get behind this, and the chefs will help drive this trend of informing just the everyday person on buying local and loving your food and knowing who it comes from.
Right. Right.
And that is where I'm super intrigued, because there's, I'm not in the food. I mean, I am now, but you know what I mean? Circa 2021, but before then, I just ate food. And like, to hear the story of Green City Market is just one that's just crazy. You started in the alley over by the Chicago Theater.
That's right. And we only had 9 farmers that first year.
That's nuts.
4 of whom are still with us today, 25 years later. So cool to see those farms kind of, just strengthening over 25 years and how they've had to adapt and evolve over those 25 years. But now we have, here in the Lincoln Park location, we bring over 60 vendors throughout the market, which it's incredible how much that has grown.
Wow.
And it's like from everything. I mean, obviously there's a ton of farmers, but there's also like people making like prepackaged consumer goods, like there's ready-made food that you can just, hot foods that you can eat. Like, there's so much.
And what's really cool about that, a lot of people don't know this unless you really dig into Green City Market, but those prepared food vendors and those ready-to-eat vendors, they are sourcing their ingredients from the farmers.
Yeah. Wow.
So we have this wild, really intensive application process where we are working with food businesses and farmers to understand how are you sourcing your product if you are a ready-to-eat or prepared food.
Right.
How are you sourcing that product? As new businesses are getting started, like we talk to folks at the info tent all the time.
Right.
We're like, how do I get into this market? And we're like, let me tell you, let's introduce you to some folks so that you can start building the relationships so that you can be ready in a couple of years to come to Green City
and I feel like the trend maybe like when the market started was that, let me like source these exotic ingredients from like halfway across the world to make these dishes. But now people really want to like, I want to like Daisy's is one of my favorite restaurants that does this. They're like, it's if Italy was in the Midwest, and I love that idea. Like you're taking ingredients that grow here, and just kind of creating. You're still creating a menu that like is your own. It's unique. It's whatever. It's not like you're eating the same food anywhere else, but it's just such local, hyper local. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and I feel like that really ties into, Abby's original vision of sustainability through the lens of like environmentalism. How do we make sure that our food isn't traveling hundreds and hundreds of miles to remind ourselves that local food is available here in the Midwest, not just in the peak of summer, which is always all the famous things, tomatoes, strawberries, peaches. But we go year round. Our markets run year round, and there is awesome like winter spinach. Winter spinach is incredible. Root veggies, like just really great food all year round. And so I think people are really kind of returning to this idea of I can have incredible food just from my backyard.
Yeah.
Literally. Really great.
Yeah, and I think that's the really, really cool thing when I'm going to go back to the history part of it, because it's like hearing you speak about it, where you all started is very historic in the sense for markets in general in Chicago.
Yes.
We're talking late 1800s is when markets literally started down on State Street, Randolph and Lake and everything. And so, like, how does that heritage, like, kind of, like, still translate today?
Yeah, so I think it is, again, anytime I'm talking about like how our farmers grow with sustainable growing practices, or the value of a farmer's market in a community. It really is like it's a coming back in a new modern way of how are we connecting to the land, putting our hands in the dirt, right? Talking to the farmer who really is out there every single day, growing this incredible food for us. And so it is like this wild kind of spyglass back into history of, hey, this is how folks used to eat. And I think people today, especially coming out of COVID, really are hungry for that connection. Right. The social aspect of the market is huge. And so I think that is, the connection is really there. It's people. Right? And food, I think, you know, I'm so excited to be talking with you guys because is you know, your whole thing with history and culture. Food is culture.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Everyone has an identity, a connection to food. And it helps to build up the culture, you know, in a community. And so I love that we're talking for that reason too.
You know, and the community aspect of Green City Market is palpable when you come in here. And the stories of who came from and helped start it and helped grow this is just insane. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so, you know, what's really amazing is just like we have these farmers who've been with us for 25 years, you know, Chef Sarah Stegner, Chef Rick Bayless, and so many others are still really integrated into the community. Just across the way over on Stockton, we have a reserved chef parking, because I heard you say that parking down here can be a little tricky.
I see the sign. If you're a chef, you could.
So pro tip, the history law is a good spot to go if you can't find parking, we validate. But it is that relationship building that the chefs really have helped to drive. And so having those folks still around and still, you know, informing and educating the next generation of culinary talent here in Chicago is so important. We see chefs bringing out sous and line cooks and everything to just meet the farmer and get to know like, hey, if you want to make a really incredible dish, it starts from really incredible ingredients, which start with a really incredible farmer. You can, if there's a break in that line, what you're putting on the plate at your restaurant isn't going to be quite what you want it to be.
And speaking of chefs, I feel like on a normal Saturday, you could probably run into a couple of them here at the market pretty early. But other than the market, you guys also host like a pretty big event once a year here.
The Chef Barbecue. Chef Barbecue has been around almost as long as the market. It's been around a little over 20 years. And again, those same chefs that I mentioned and so many others, Paul Varant, and you mentioned Daisy, so Joe Frillman has been with us for many, many years. We all come together right here in Lincoln Park where the market happens, and it is this literal magical experience. Like, you have to experience it. I'll try and describe it. You have to be in the magic of it. But what's really, really cool is we have over 100 chefs and beverage purveyors come out. They are creating these incredible dishes, either things that they feature at their restaurant. Daisy's is doing their overpriced tomato toast, which is like famous.
So good.
And or they'll create and curate something totally like you can only have this at Chef Barbecue kind of a dish.
Exclusive.
Exactly. Exclusive, like one-time only experiences. And you come, and what's cool about this event is that once you're in, you're in. It's like,
you can't
how many things can you taste? I guarantee you can't taste them all. Because they're so
accepted.
I was about to say, I will try.
Do it. You know, I that's one of my favorite things when I'm walking around the barbecue and just seeing these people like really enjoy, and for some of them experience local food for the first time. Because so many people discover Green City Market through the barbecue.
Oh wow, that's a good way to start.
You know, absolutely. Because you know, I think a lot of folks find food like it can be intimidating, or a farmer's market can be intimidating. And what we do is really help break down that intimidation. Like, it's a place for everyone. All you got to do is ask questions. You know, talk to people.
You know, that intimidation aspect is, again, me not being a cook or just getting into this world. That's the part that kind of intrigued me the most with the market, because Sarah will tell you, I don't want to get up early to go to a market, but
he does.
We come here and I'm like, I think what's not talked about enough in Chicago, like most things, is the narrative here is, oh, it's all bad. But there's a huge community of these chefs that know each other. We go from place to place, and then a chef will mention another chef. I'm like, how do you know that person? You know what I mean? But, that's me being naive, and they know, I think that's the cool thing about, these events, the 25-year anniversary, to see all of them in one place and to see that unity in Chicago, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I think, I am so grateful that we are the way we are here. I don't know if it's Midwest, vibes
it's Chicago.
or what.
It's Chicago vibes.
But I travel all over the country and see farmers markets all over the country and work with a lot of farmers markets across the nation. And in Chicago, we have just this uniqueness that all of our markets, in addition to Green City, I'm a part of something called the Chicago Farmers Market Collective.
Okay.
And what we do is it's a group about 40, 50 of us who are running markets all over the city. And we come together once a month and we're just like, you're having problems with parking? Us too. Like, you need this kind of a vendor? Yeah. Oh, I have folks that I couldn't get in this year.
Wow.
So there's this beautiful collaboration that is happening where as we continue to lift one another up, we're just strengthening that food system all across the city.
Yes.
And the chefs have always really been a driving part of that. The philanthropy is unmatched. I think by Chicago chefs, is as evidenced by the fact that chefs started the Chef Barbecue.
Right.
The name is not
the
name is because
it is what it is.
But it's not like actual barbecue. They're
not
barbecuing.
Just barbecue.
Yeah.
So some do, but one of the cool things too is we get a lot of questions on I'm vegan, I'm gluten free, I'm vegetarian. Right. Is there going to be something for me? I hear barbecue and I'm like,
I don't know if I can come. Right.
No, there's something for everyone, which is so awesome. Yeah. You literally and again, I got too excited. One of the two questions I love to ask are, what's been your favorite bite so far tonight? Because I'm just where am I going? And then how many tastings did you get to, right? I think the highest I've ever heard is 27 out of 125. So
that's wow. That's a fifth. Okay, I can do that. I can do it.
Is there an insider list that we can get ahead of the event?
So this year we're gonna have a digital program. So what's gonna be really cool this year is folks are gonna be able to scan a QR code all throughout. We're gonna have maps throughout the event. You're gonna be able to scan it, see what the chefs are also preparing, and then kind of plan out your route.
Oh, wow.
That's
which
a great
is really,
idea.
really cool. Because everyone has a little bit of a different strategy on how they tackle barbecue. You can tell the folks who've been with us for the 25 years.
They know.
They come with the blanket, their own trays. They're ready to go to make sure that they can taste as much
so people
as they
can
want.
bring blankets and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. It's almost I kind of describe it as a Ravinia style feel, right?
Right.
You can come and it's really meant for you to go in and experience and chat with all the chefs, but then also, hang with your friends and your family, coworkers, what have you, and just kind of sit. If you want a table and you want a tray provided for you, we do have a VIP experience that gets you in an hour early.
Okay. So you can knock out 30 easy. If you pace yourself right, you can do 5 before and then go on with another 25.
Right. You gotta have the strategy, right? I learned my first year. I'm like, I gotta wait. For me, I gotta wait to do the sweets until a little bit later.
Let it digest a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And pace yourself on the different.
How many hours do we have?
So the event.
It's a game now. It just became a game.
Now what's the math? What's the ratio? So VIP starts at 5:30.
Okay.
Event goes till 9.
Okay.
GA starts at 6:30. So you got
some
time to enjoy.
Yeah, that's a lot of eating though in 4 hours.
Run a lap around the park. Come
back.
You have to. Digest.
Don't have lunch.
Right.
Ready.
Yeah, that's pro tip. Don't have lunch.
Yes. The other thing, so we were talking a little bit about is there stuff beyond barbecue? So absolutely, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, lots of different options. And those, we always suggest, if you do have a food thing that you need to let the person know, of course, make sure that you're asking, but we do have signs that mark that out. That'll be on this digital program as well.
Yeah.
But then for beverages as well, we know we have a lot of great wines coming from Michigan, local breweries coming, incredible spirits, Judson and Moore, Claval, lots of great distilleries. Nice. If it's a barbecue event, is there going to be something for me there? So yes, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, all kinds of options. You'll be able to find out that info in that digital program that we're doing. But then we also have incredible drink options. So there's local wines that we work with, lots of local breweries, and then local spirits. So we've got Judson and Moore, Koval, and many others that are distilling here in Chicago. But for our folks who are just alcohol free, we're working with Ritual Zero Proof and several other zero proof, low proof options, because it is a Thursday night.
Right.
Yeah.
We know that some folks enjoy, just a cocktail experience.
Like a pretty cocktail, but you don't want
just to kick it. I still got to work Friday.
That's right. That's right. And it's like, what is so cool, I love when I'm talking with the folks at Ritual, they're always like, soda and lime, we're better, we can do better than soda and lime. And they do. So, like, it is really incredible, like, the crafting and the intentionality behind those spirits and cocktails that they make. And then they work with the farmers. So they'll have, like, a very herbaceous cocktail, working with Smiths. Like,
oh my
God. I gotta say, I think these NA cocktails are starting to become just as good, if not better, than some.
Yeah. Frankly,
that's so good.
Because really, I just want the flavor and I want the vibe now. That's 10 years ago, all right, I wanted the feeling. You know what I mean?
Right,
but now I'm old. I'm old. I don't need all that feeling. I just want to feel. I want to look good.
I got to get up the next
day. I got things to do. You know.
But it's fun to have something fun, right? Like you aren't wanting to just have, and some folks we will have plenty of like water and all of that, like all around as well. But it's fun, again, it's fun to have something fun. It's fun to have something creative. Right. I especially love those cocktails and mocktails and zero proof drinks because for me, I love to cook. So I get in the kitchen and 9 times out of 10, my husband's like, what are we having for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. It will literally reveal itself to me when it is on the plate.
Rain down on me. Exactly. I got it.
Again, and if you start with great ingredients, like you're going to be happy with what ends up on the plate. But I am less adventurous with, creating cocktails. I have several friends who that's their thing. They make them and they enjoy a nice cocktail at the end of the night. That's just not me. So I really love experiencing the things that I don't feel like, now could I do it? If anyone can do anything. Right. But will I, right? I put my energy into cooking versus the cocktail crafting, but that's what makes barbecue so fun. Exactly. You can experience these things that you maybe otherwise wouldn't get, on a everyday, especially on a Thursday, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the barbecue is, if you're watching this, it's going on time. It's going to be on the 5th, September 5th of September. 5 p.m. for VIPs. So
5:30.
5:30. Yep. So you can see. Look at me trying to cheat.
6:30.
Yeah.
You gotta get people get off work.
I know. Yeah. Got to be fair, And so we got a special code for you.
That's right. So 77 flavors BBQ gets you $20 off your ticket. And I will say tickets are flying. So be sure to hop on, grab that ticket. And I definitely if you want to do that VIP, I really recommend it because it's just such a great experience to skip those lines, to get to talk to the chefs, and to just give yourself a little more time to enjoy the event.
Absolutely. I feel like that's my favorite part is connecting with the chefs.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And what's really cool when you kind of have those side conversations about hey, why did you pick this tonight? What got you excited about this? Or you might experience, oh, hey, I was recently on the farm over at Jerry, with Jerry. I was checking this out and he told me that this is something I had to try in my restaurant. So here we are. We're giving it a go. So I think again, we talk about the cultural aspect, the social aspect of markets and an event like this. It's really built around the people.
Yeah.
So
we love to hear
that. Well, we'll be there.
We'll be there. Come check us out. Happy 25 years.
Thank you so
happy
much,
25
guys.
years.
Yeah, we're very excited and on and ready for 25 more. We're growing every single year.
600K next year. 700.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And all of our other programs too with food access, right?
Yep.
Welcoming folks and helping make the market affordable for their families. That's all growing. And so again, we just really want to convey that the market and Green City is for everyone.
Right. Yeah. Actually,
local foods for everyone.
I feel like I wanted to bring this up earlier, and you guys do link match, right?
What
is that?
Yeah, so link match. So folks, link or SNAP.
Yep.
So SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program,
right?
Yep. So it is food assistance, government food assistance that folks get, and unfortunately, what is allotted to a family or person per month is it's never enough.
Not enough.
Right.
Folks run out within the first 2 to 3 weeks of the month.
If that.
Yep. And so what we do here at Green City Market is we do a 1 to 3 match. So when folks use $25 off of their link card, we will match that with a $25 GCM for All voucher. And then they get another $25 from our friends at Experimental Station through the Link Up Illinois program. So $25 benefits. $75.
So total. Yeah.
Total. So it's amazing. It's tripling that person.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's good.
Really, for real.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And like, again, back to that social element, you guys, I think one of the coolest things, we're big on like talking to our community. And so we will have conversations, we do surveys and everything with the folks who are using this program. And beyond the fact that people are like, I can put healthy food in my fridge, on my plate, in my kids' bellies, all these things, is like, I feel welcomed here.
Right.
I am treated with dignity and respect here. People miss me when I'm not here. And say, hey, we haven't seen you a couple weeks. Everything okay?
Right.
Like that's what gives me that's what gives me goosebumps, because I think it is really about, like, again, it's building up that culture, and it's, win-win-win. It's a win for the family who can have this access to the food. It's a win for their health, and it's a win for the farmers. This is money. So last year, over $250,000 we generated in purchasing power through this program into the pockets of farmers and on the plates of people who need that food. So huge, and it's just. Again, but like, I go back to, I'm like, all of that is awesome, but also, like, when you tell me that, like, you feel respected coming into the market, when you tell me that, like, people notice, that feels good. When people are like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
Literally,
it's amazing.
We were buying flowers just last week, and someone was like, oh, I didn't see you last week, like cutting up the stems of the flowers. And I was like, I love that. Like, literally, I looked at him and I was like, that's my favorite part.
You're seeing 20,000 people walking through the market,
and you recognize
people notice. People notice. And so that's amazing. It's beautiful. And I would say, like, what powers that work, what powers our mission is it's events like barbecue. So barbecue is a fundraiser for us. Those ticket proceeds or sponsorships, all of that power that mission. So when folks are buying a ticket, when they're using that code, you're not just getting access to an event, but you are lifting up local food. You are helping to secure that future food for everybody. You're giving folks access. You're educating our community about where their food comes from, why that matters. And you're supporting small business owners, farmers who are growing sustainably, caring for the planet. And you're doing all of that and enjoying more than 27 tastings at barbecue on the 5th.
Let's go. Because I'm definitely trying.
That's right. I want the tally.
I can keep it on video.
That's right. There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Mandy, thank you.
Thank you.
Again, happy 25. Party like it's 1999.
That's right. That's right. Yes, we love it.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.